part 5 of Numbers, and now it's the revealing of the formats. So, um, the stories are way too out of order to even try to put them together. So I've made myself this note that when I start putting the books together, that when I get across here, get to them, I've already put them in groups of what the text is got to go someplace else. Sometimes maybe these two will go together, sometimes they're not, but the text is so abrupt and so differently that I have to put them grouped like that. So these are, and I will carry these over even next time. Or I'm not sure, maybe it's time to clean them up and start label them as this way to be moved to combine these pieces together. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. This one needs to be was moved, or it was a note for me to move. It doesn't belong here for sure, but the object is there's going to be some of these. I moved here. Now this is down farther, but when they're talking about this story here, it says they were unclean because of the dead. Well, that's because this law has to happen first. This law has got to go with the other laws that we found that I found in other books. So they all have to be grouped together. And then from there we can say, okay, these laws were given at this time, and then uh, our Creator, for the second time, they were going to celebrate his passing over. That they were unclean and they knew the law, so how can we partake? So then it was on the second month, first of the second month. Um, and actually, when it comes to their months, there was actually 5 7-day weeks. Okay. And when you figure that out, they didn't have 11th and 12th month. And it didn't end up evenly either. There was 2 or 3 days that just didn't fit into the calendar. At that time, they didn't worry about it. They just knew that it's going to restart anyway. In fact, they were supposed to blow their horns for the 7th. So here I had to add this. This I'm going to leave here until, even following through the next text, when I start combining them together, until that shows up the rest of this story right here that I'm putting in here. So this is definitely me putting influence on the words right now. So maybe I better do this and do this. And then that'll really remind me to make sure that uh, this needs to be explained again why I'm doing this. This is a question that when you start looking at too many things are happening around this time that I know from the other stories that this month has to be changed. Um, but you can see the grouping and how well the text goes together. Here is the group that I'm going to have to take from here, and I'm moving it here. It's a simple one, so I'm moving it here. Okay, and um, other text, let's see, when I go through here. Oh, I forgot to go through and put all those titles in. So I need to do that as well. And then that'll be later anyways. You want to check that out later. It'll be in when I post the um, PDFs. It will be in there. And notice that these are 4 verse, 3 verse, and yet the story is really continuing here, but it becomes a 3 verse. So it might just have to be that way too. That one writer you can tell wrote that, and the next writer wrote this. I've always tried to think of why did they change 4-verse writing to a 3-verse writing. I'm thinking that the first writers had a few writers writing different ways and yet telling the same story. So that's what I'm thinking, okay? Because a lot of it doesn't make sense otherwise. Now, this was the group that I moved up. I just, because this is, 9 point. Right. We're moved up. So, and you can see, I know I'm going a little bit fast, but when you see them in groups and you start reading the groups, that yes, they're going from here to here to here to here, and it's just a mess. It really does get to be a mess. Now, this should be gone. That should have been gone. Editing marks I forgot to clean up. This I moved to what I put in quickly as VV. Sometimes the group was stuck out right now in the text that even a small group like this can be there. You can either search it by these here or by searching for here or like words to find them. I've just got different ways to help people in the future to do quick searches, find out what's going on, to jump back and forth quicker. Okay, here's where I moved it, because here after Balaam wouldn't curse them, then they went to war, or they went to battle, and we fought against them. And then I needed to add what is actually what was said about when they killed off Amaleks, or not Amaleks, but Moab. They did this. I actually copied this from that text above and pasted here because it's just part of the story that they did this. In fact, the words our Creator said, this is what they were supposed to do. These people were too far gone pagan. Here, I've got a note that I've got to figure out what to do with this part here. I don't know whether just not to use it or not, or what needs to be added here, but maybe just these pieces will go someplace else. So I know this was going to be a quick video, and okay, I moved up. Boy, I don't know. Let me get to the end here, because did I move them? Because this is the same size text, so maybe this is wrong. Let me do a quick search real quick here. Find. Oh. Get rid of that marking there. Find next. Yep, okay, I didn't move this text yet. I was thinking about it. So this is not true yet. I couldn't put that. Or I felt it was just too much to be moving around right now, and kind of give up that I couldn't do as good as I can in other books. This is the first book that is really full of pieces from other books. So you now know that Numbers was completely made up by those crooked people or evil people. But that'll be the end of Numbers, and I will now get another book and start with that. So, like I said, later, after another month or two, I'll put all these in, and then they'll be there. But until then, they won't be there. But I will be saying they will be there. Okay.